I think it's really nice that we try to be consensus-based in our organizations, but sometimes that takes a long time, and you might not have the buy-in of everybody's organization.
A couple of things that stick in my memory are areas where good prep work was done and a decision wasn't made.
The inclusivity and the input, I think, can be problematic because I like to get things done, and so it takes long and I get impatient and sometimes frustrated. So when you include large numbers of people, it bogs down the process, and I just find it really frustrating. So I realize you can't just ram things down people's throats and they just do what you want them to do. So really I try to focus on getting as many people on board as possible and not really consensus, and get them on board and then have them work with other people. But I never expect to move everybody forward. It just is impossible. And I don't try to make everybody happy. It took me a long time to get to that point where you can't make everybody happy.
That element to people in terms of consensus building, I think is the big obstacle, big stopper, and where I don't think consensus is all that attractive sometimes.
As much as I'm a fan of reaching consensus, I think that it doesn't help us always.
I think we're very timid organizations. We are inclined to talk and study and form work groups and task forces and another task force and so on. And we give a lot, at the same time we pay a lot of lip service to taking risks and to innovation and fostering a culture of innovation. But then we really don't do anything substantive to encourage or reward that.
One big thing that I've noticed in library culture is I worked in business before I got here, and it seems that we get really focused in on being perfect or making things a little bit too perfect before we want to put it out to the public, and not being willing to be a little bit more experimental and saying, this isn't quite finished, but we'd like to see what you think of it. And so that can be a big problem.
I do see a lot of ideas really never leave the starting gate because there wants to be some sort of assurance that it will be successful before it's even embarked upon, and you just can't know.
I don't want to say to be competitive because I'm not sure who we're competing with exactly, but in order to present the best information or to meet the needs of our users in the best possible way, I think that we need to learn how to be much more experimental with things and to try new things and not be afraid if it just falls flat on its face and say, okay, that didn't work, but we're just going to move forward and try something else and learn from our mistakes.
Yes, I think we have to be a little bit more agile. I think we need to be a lot more comfortable with risk. I think we need to not think about continual business improvement, but really think about innovation. I think we say innovation a lot, but I don't think we really have internalized the definition of that word.
It takes money to do that, for one, but it also takes leadership, bold leadership, that just takes a flyer now and again and says, yeah, let's try that. We have no idea what the outcomes are going to be, but you've got a good plan, and so what if it goes awry? You know, we can tolerate that in this organization. You just don't see that very often.